Hey everybody, it's Georgia Rose from Zencuda. Welcome to this video about the full moon in Leo. I will be on the Soul Space podcast February 2nd, Monday night at 7 p.m. live on Strong Island Television with more about the February astrology. But for today, I just wanted to do a brief video about the full moon coming in Leo on February 1st. For those of you in the eastern part of the United States, like I am, that is going to happen at around 5:30 in the evening for us. And here is actually what the chart looks like. I downloaded this from cafeastrology.com. So hopefully you guys can see this chart now. And so what the first thing I want to show you guys is in this chart, we've got a pile up of planets in Aquarius. Now, if you look at these wavy lines that look like waves in the water, that is a symbol for Aquarius in this particular chart. And as you can see, we have Pluto at 3 degrees of Aquarius, Mars at 7 degrees of Aquarius. We have a couple of asteroids that I'm familiar working with, but for purposes of this video, the Sun, Venus, and also Mercury, all in Aquarius. Now, those planets are all going to start to go into Pisces in the next few days and weeks. And when they do, of course, the energy will change. But for today and this full moon, which occurs on February 1st, around, like I said, 5:30 p.m. on the East Coast, New York, Long Island, and the East Coast of the United States. Look in your time zone to see exactly when it occurs for you. But those planets being in Aquarius add a lot of power to this full moon. The full moon is going to be at 28 degrees of Leo over here. You can see in this chart, because it was just cast, it's at 13 degrees of Leo, but that's going to move into the final degrees of Leo tomorrow, February 1st, when the chart is really going to be more active. So Leo is the opposite of Aquarius. And when we have, obviously, the sun in Aquarius and the moon in Leo, it creates a full moon in Leo. But the moon is also energizing and having a conversation with all of these planets. So it makes for a very combustible energy because Leo is a fire sign and Aquarius is an air sign. It's not a water sign. Aquarius is air. It brings the water. So fire and air can be very combustible. Now, if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say this particular full moon is probably going to be very active and very, very explosive. We also are just a few days away, about 3 weeks, few days away from Saturn and Neptune going into both Aries. Neptune is already there, hanging out, waiting for Saturn to conjunct with it. We've never had that conjunction before in the history of as far back as people have been doing astrology, which goes back thousands and thousands of years. No one can find this particular configuration in the sky for the last 14 years. So what does all this mean for us, drilled down to our personal life? Well, we're going to see a lot of explosive energy, the energy that we're seeing in the global arena with, a lot of boundaries being drawn and a lot of power plays being in are definitely going to expand. Leo is an energy of expression. In the highest form, it's the expression of love, the lion's heart. It's the knowledge that there's nothing more powerful than love, and that love is the ultimate power. In its lowest form, the negative, it's people who love power. So wherever you fall in that category on that spectrum and the people around you, be prepared that this is going to be a very expressive and also a very somewhat can be explosive full moon. February is a month that moves very, very quickly. We have all those planets going into Pisces and the planets that have been in Pisces for a long time, Saturn and Neptune going into Aries. Uranus stations direct in Taurus in the final degrees of Taurus just a few days after this full moon on the 1st of February, which creates another new energy as Uranus will be heading for Gemini, an air sign. So we have a lot of change going on in our worlds. We have a lot of culmination of energy going on in our worlds, and I've been saying that for a really long time. But this full moon can be a trigger, and this full moon can be a trigger of not only what happens in February, but for a lot of our really long-term goals. I'll be with you every step of the way, describing what that energy is going to be like, and especially in regards to astrology. Astrology, which I do, is called evolutionary astrology, and it talks a lot about our past and our future, and it also can be somewhat predictive of where the energy is headed. So I hope you'll join me in my videos and on my podcast. But for today, January 31st, going into this full moon in Leo, I'd say if you can, well, try and do meditation, try and relax. Full moons are usually a time of culmination, a time of endings. What's ending for you in your life? What do you really need to express yourself about? Where haven't you expressed yourself? Aquarius, where all those planets and the sun is an energy of pioneering. It's an energy of community, but it also, in a lower form, can be the energy of community where we become divided because we only want to be around people who are like us or like-minded or like-hearted like us. And so Aquarius, while it can be pioneering and also technology and also new ideas and all kinds of avant-garde and unique things, it can also be exclusion and circling the wagons and being very divisive. And that's the energy we have to watch out for, especially with the moon in Leo, where it's all about expression. It's all about self-validation. How do you validate yourself? Do you express yourself for validation in the external world, or do you express yourself for validation from within, where it's really whole and has substance? We see that especially on social media now, where people really need external validation in order to become self-validated. You might see that really expand and become explosive in this energy. But one thing's for sure, this will be an active sky. It's going to be an active week, and it's going to be pretty active for the next few months as all those planets change into new energy and new signs. Like I said, for this weekend, I'd stay close to home. I would maybe read a book, do some philosophizing, meditation, yoga. I know that might sound boring for some of you, but it's really a good idea to be in your own energy right now. Think about how you authentically express yourself, not how you measure yourself against the external world, the people around you, your family, your friends, but how, when you're alone in those quiet moments, you measure. You think about yourself, your worth, your validation. That's really going to come up in a sky like this. And hopefully, you have a good self-worth. You validate yourself in really healthy ways. And you can go within in order to find your ground, your North Star, your own place where you go in order to know what's up, what's down, what's right, what's wrong. Because what I can say, without a doubt, is that looking externally for that grounding, looking externally for what truth is, what really is your authenticity, will never work. It comes from within. And if each one of us can raise our vibration, expand love in our life, that beautiful lion heart that comes in with a Leo full moon, and realize that the power of love far outweighs the love of power, then we'll have done something really great for ourselves and our communities and the world. So happy new moon, happy full moon blessings. And yeah, where does your lion heart say in this full moon? I'd love to hear your comments. You can do that on this website, or you can go to zencuda.com or my social media. So I will see you out there Monday, 7 o'clock in the soul space. And hopefully I'll have more to report. Good things happening on this full moon. But either way, it will be active. It's a very combustible sky. So think clearly, act responsibly, and do not be impulsive. Thanks so much. I am Georgia Rose, your psychic astrologer, and I'll be there Monday night, 7 o'clock live in the soul space. Hope you'll find me. Bye-bye.